really the addiction talking, and you can just see how controlling that addiction can be, to the point where you don't think about the fact that you might die, you just think about getting that high. I've seen numerous cases, and law enforcement agencies all over the state have seen numerous cases where they're dealing with people that they've Narcaned 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times throughout the course of weeks or months, but the addiction drives that person back to that drug of choice, whatever that might be. It's not easy. It's something we obviously are dealing with. We have 3 other boys, and my wife and I are struggling to deal with the reality that Ethan is no longer with us. We have had a huge amount of support through friends, through different organizations, through our faith, and that has been good. But we lost a child, and it's been difficult for us. But we're doing everything we can to keep our family together and well on a healthy and mental capacity. So that's our struggle right now. But we're coming along, and I know that Ethan would want us to. I know that Ethan realized that some of the things he was doing during his struggles really affected the family, and I truly believe he felt bad about that. So one of the things that my wife and I are doing now is realizing that he would want us to mend some of the issues that separated our family because of his addiction and move on from there. I don't know if I'd be the dad and express a ton of anger toward him, or a ton of anger toward the disease that he fought and that he lost. I think he knew that he was loved, and we always reiterated that, and he said that to us too. Even during some very, very difficult times, there was always the phone calls or the texts or our conversations ended in "I love you." As a matter of fact, the night he passed away, the last words he said to us was, "I love you." So I would let him know that, and I would share that there was hundreds of people at his funeral, and that he was loved. I would let that young person know that there are avenues that they can take to help them get over that urge or whatever that might be. I think Ethan got into a cycle where he had some depression issues, and he would feel bad, and I believe that he would use drugs to make him feel good. Then that would wear off, and then he'd feel bad again because he used drugs, because I truly believe he knew it was not good, and it was wrong, and it was affecting his life and the life of his family and his friends, but he just couldn't get out of that for whatever reason, whether it was the depression that he suffered or the addiction and that disease. He couldn't make that step out, and we tried. And I would really tell kids or young adults or anybody who might be in that circle to really reach out and do what they need to do and ask for that help to get out of that circle. Because when you're in that circle, you just keep spinning around, and that's truly what I believe was going on with Ethan. And we tried, and he'd step out for a while, but somehow he'd get pulled back in. And I think kids need to realize that, and I say kids, but I mean young adults and anybody that I feel is in that circle of addiction, that it's not going to be easy. I know Ethan struggled, and at times he told us it was very difficult. He was an all-state football player and an all-regional college basketball player, and I think that stuff came easy to him, and most people would think that that would have been hard to achieve. As a father, I don't want to brag, but I think it came somewhat easy to him. It was the life struggles that he had a hard time with, and I think kids and young adults need to understand that it is a struggle, and everyone realizes that, but don't be afraid to ask for help, and don't be afraid to knock on someone's door, whether it's a parent or another adult that you're close with or another friend that can really understand some of the struggles that they might be going through. So they just have to reach out and see if there's help available, and take what's given to them and take it to heart. With Ethan, it was a struggle that started early in high school, probably his sophomore year. I think we really started to notice a change. I guess my advice to parents is they need to understand that they're not alone in this, and there are resources. We reached out to a lot of different people and a lot of different organizations. I think the other advice is that parents need to understand that there isn't an overnight fix, that it's a long process. It can be a long process, and they need to understand that there's help there, there's programs, there's different resources that are available. But I guess, to be brutally honest, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. So patience and understanding and seeking out those resources and different agencies that can help out is probably the best advice I can give to parents. And they're not alone. I've seen and talked with, whether it was on a professional level through my job or in our struggles with Ethan, that there's a lot of support out there, and it's imperative that parents use that support too, because it just doesn't affect your child. Of course, you worry every day and every night about what's going on with your child, but there's a huge impact on you as a parent and your family, and that needs to be addressed also. So I guess you still have your well-being to take care of, and I think people need to be able to understand that it's not only the care of their child, but it's the care of the rest of their family and themselves too. So that's why a lot of those resources address that. As a supervisor for the Dane County Narcotics Task Force, we see the ongoing threat of this epidemic every day, and it's not over glamorized at all by the media and by the people who are understanding it is a problem. It is a problem, and everything that we can do to try to curb this current trend needs to be done. We're seeing drugs coming into the city and the county that are laced with fentanyl and other issues, so that makes it even that much more serious of an issue. So we are trying our best to curb the problem, but it's an uphill battle. I mean, and we need to get as many people educated as we can about the dangers of opiate addictions, and people need to realize that it is a problem, and it doesn't matter what part of Dane County you live in or what part of the state of Wisconsin you live in. It's prevalent everywhere. Having lived it, just watching it, it's the story, like, yep, I can relate to that as a parent, or yep, I can relate to that seeing what Ethan did. So the stuff that is talked about in the documentary is really spot on. The young adults that were featured in there tell stories, and a lot of that stuff I can say that I've witnessed, whether it was on a professional level or on a personal level. When they interviewed some of the parents, or some of the young adults talked about how their parents reacted, I can relate 100%. That information provided there, people need to understand that that's real life, and that's not Hollywood talking, that's someone's life. And that's what parents have gone through. And I just want people to take that to heart. And these are great success stories. And I'm so happy for them. I wish my son was one of them, but unfortunately that's not the case. But congratulations to those families and those people that have made that step. And I hope that the information they provide will help someone else in the long run.